Hey guys, this is Whirligig Dave. Welcome to a Whirligig Saw run. This is New Game Plus 21. I'm Whirligig Dave. And here's my stats and so on, I guess. Level 395, slowly working toward 99 arcane, so I can do a spell run. And 99 in every stat except Blood Tinge and Arcane at this point. Endurance, the stat points do literally nothing past 40. I don't know why they did that, but they don't boost up your stamina, they don't give you defense, they just do absolutely nothing. Maybe if I put like 50 points in endurance, it would give me like 1 point in physical defense or something, I don't know. But let's go talk to Joseph Gab here. You can see her eye if I rotate the camera correctly.
Are you out on the hunt? Then I'm very sorry, but I cannot open this door. I am Yosefka. The patients here in my clinic must not be exposed to infection. I know that you hunt for us, for our town, but I'm sorry. Please. This is all that I can do. Now, go. And good hunting.
She just says stop. I don't think you can hurt her through the door or anything. I guess for plot reasons you couldn't be able to kill her. You shouldn't be able to kill her. I don't know. But let's get started. I guess I should introduce the attacks. In the one-handed form, it's just a club. It has good reach. It's a little bit slower than your average one-handed weapon. Bloodborne has running R1s and running R2s, and backdash R2s as well. And for some weapons, the side dash is slightly different than the other dash attacks. And there can be up to 4 different ones. I think Blade of Mercy has 4, for instance. Never mind this door being open, I haven't made any progress so far. It's all lies. The L1s for this weapon look pretty cool, I just forget to use them mostly. And I guess the super special attack is this hold L2, which actually does pretty good damage if the weapon is gemmed. I very rarely shoot my gems, but here we go. It has, what, like 846 damage right now? 826 damage, and it's all physical, so none of that is split, which means it does a lot of damage. But it's not as fast as some of the other weapons. Like Beast Claw with 500 damage does a lot more DPS than this weapon. But that's okay. It seems like this run will be pretty fun. The next run I'm probably gonna have to use a mundane-ish weapon, like the Saw Spear, because I've never done a Saw Spear run. So, look forward to that, I guess. But for now, we can still use the weird stuff. Lantern already lit. Could talk to fire whatever guy. Whatever that weapon's called. Flame Sprayer, that's what it's called. There you go. And let's put the Gatling gun on, why not? I'll probably have to switch for Gascon, but until then. I'm not sure what build I have on right now. I think it's just raw HP runes, which is a little silly for this part of the game. So I'll switch it out before we get to Amelia to like 25. There we go, that's the Gatling gun. I'm somewhat inclined to do a Gatling gun run in the future, or just kill every boss with a Gatling gun. And maybe avoid most of the enemies. Not every boss, but as many as possible. I did kill Amygdala with just the Gatling gun before, and that boss has a lot of HP, so... You could probably do it most bosses. Maybe even Maria. I think Maria has like 30,000 HP. Which is not as much as the other DLC bosses have. You can see the charged R2 has like an initial burst. That's the jump. It does like an initial burst, and then there's like 3 or 4 hits after that. Then the initial burst is not where most of the damage comes from. So there's a good example. The damage coming out later. Which is interesting. It might be one of the highest damaging charged R2s in the game. But I think it's a little bit slower than some of the other ones. So it might balance out. And or charged R2s just aren't very good in general, so it doesn't really matter. I guess we could see what happens if I just Gatling gun down the fat dude. Like how long it takes. He does block with his axe, like that. That's a good test of the weapon if we run behind him and do some fast attacks. Not every weapon can do that. There's some weapons that just don't do very well if you're trying to fast attack that guy down. That's why you tend to go for the parry instead. Doesn't want to let me lock onto this guy, I guess. Doesn't really matter. These guys will hit really hard, especially since I'm not wearing any armor right now. I'll put on armor before melee, so we do the build switch at the same time. And probably switch back to the hunter round, but I figure since I didn't show off the beast form enough for the previous run, I might as well do it now. The visual form, anyway. And here we are in the plaza. The plaza's usually pretty enjoyable. Okay, so that was that attack. It's hard to tell if it's exactly the same or not. I think the side dash version goes further forward, but it looks similar other than that. I think most charges would have gotten off before that guy attacked me, or at least the armor would have triggered, so I still would have gotten the attack off. Just like the Beast Claw, the running R2 is kind of cool because it rolls sparks on the ground, but it's pretty slow and it doesn't do a ton of damage. It does good damage, but not crazy damage, so just do it because it looks cool. Like, I don't think it would kill this guy in the background here, which is kind of the point, is to one-shot him. And it did kill him, okay. I was wrong. Usually that guy doesn't shoot you while you're on the stairs, but today did. Some more Valkyrie Revolution stuff came out today, or maybe like at midnight. So I'll be doing some stuff with that later. The most important thing is you get a new playable character, apparently. Maxine is playable after you do like a notebook memo. You might have to have progressed through the game to unlock him, I don't know. But obviously I already beat the game, so it doesn't affect me that much. So I'll probably do like an hour stream of dicking around with his moveset and whatnot. Maybe try dueling Brunhilde with him or something. But I assume he's gonna level to the level of my party, so he'll be like level 70 or 67 or whatever it is now. Which is probably a little bit overpowered. Unfortunately, the New Game Plus in Revolution is not that great. But oh well. I'm just gonna hit share right now, so around 15 minutes. because I talked a little bit more at the start. Sometimes when I get to this door, it's like 10 minutes. Sometimes it's longer. I don't think the gameplay section was too long there. Since it's the main run, I'll be hitting the share button every 15 minutes approximately. I could stream on Twitch, and then just upload the VODs, and edit it that way, but I feel like, well, the YouTube stream is obviously going to be more beneficial for me to begin with, but it's also more likely to do well. However, Bloodborne is one of the few games where I could probably build a Twitch audience if I really tried, and then eventually have like 100 viewers every day or whatever, but it seems like too much of a pain in the ass. And I can stream whatever I want on YouTube and it'll do well, so, or almost anything. So I kind of prefer YouTube at this point. But the overarching point I was trying to make earlier, unsuccessfully, is that I was going to... we gotta... I'm probably gonna stream until like 4 PM approximately. It'll probably only take me like 2 hours to get to Shadows, which is usually where the first stream stops. So there'll be some more time to fill after that. The reason why Bloodborne would do well is because there's still demand for it. And for some reason speedrunners are idiots, so they tend to only play the newest game. But people still like Bloodborne. And it doesn't have like a comical number of retards playing it, basically. That's the general story of the Souls. Dark Souls, especially. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3 have like a preposterously insane number of bad players playing them, so you have to compete with every one of those people. But Bloodborne does not have as big of a player base. It does have a pretty big player base, but it's not huge in the same way, or if it was huge, it was only for a year or so. This is one of the hardest fights in the entire game, by the way, and I don't have the usual method of beating it since I had to get the gun on. And it's in the first area. Nice of them to put that there. Alright. Same thing with Neo, except Neo's player base is like 2 million or something, which is far less than Demon Souls. But still more successful than I think they expected the game to be, so Neo was definitely a success, especially because Koei is smart, basically. Koei knows how to like make a game that sells 500,000 copies be profitable. So for Koei, they don't need to sell a crazy amount. And of course I'm extremely good at Neo, so that would help as far as getting people to watch it. But it's important to note that skill doesn't matter. Skill is a really minor concern. So is like technical editing skills and stuff like that. Like having the smoothest, cleanest video with the best, most logical commentary or whatever is probably going to get you like 5% or 10% more views. But like being a retard, that'll get you like 500% more views or something like that. Or like acting like an idiot when you're not actually an idiot, for instance. I'm obviously never going to be able to do that. I just lack the compunction to be a moron. It's just not my skill set. But people do kind of like my commentary, so it's okay. And I'm pretty good at talking about Bloodborne without sounding too much like a jackass. Since my opinion of myself in Bloodborne is only moderately high as opposed to everything else, or it's insanely high. Though often accurate. Okay, this jackass has our souls. It's extremely difficult to aggro just one of them. But generally what you do with werewolves is you shoot them in the face, and then they die, and then you shoot them in the face again. Well, actually, you only have to shoot them in the face once, usually. Like so. But if you have the Gatling gun, you can't parry, so that's a bit of a problem. Hence the death. Alright, we'll probably be okay with Cleric Beast. I've got a crazy amount of health right now. 2403. And Cleric Beast is not difficult even with no health runes on. So it shouldn't be too big of a deal. This build is probably going to make Gascon a little bit easier than usual. But that doesn't mean he'll be incapable of killing me, so... I can still die to Gascon feasibly. And usually I do like a recording cut here, but I'm going to do a different episode layout for this run. There'll be a couple of videos that are just the boss fight, but this is not one of them, because nobody really cares about Cleric Beast. And of course Cleric Beast is, like a reskin version of Cleric Beast is the hardest boss in the game by a wide margin. But also the worst boss in the game, so fuck that boss. And of course I won't be fighting Lawrence this run, because fuck Lawrence. We're just getting bad luck on the momentum here. Once you get him staggered and stuff, it's no big deal. Okay, there we go. Could also do weapon chance, probably should have done that. A little bit late though. I could bring Gascon to this fight just by summoning him, and that actually makes the fight harder because it increases his HP by a lot, and Gascon always dies because he doesn't heal himself unlike the other hunters. There's a few weapons where I could still DPS him down fast enough to where it wouldn't matter, but this isn't one of them. Alright, we could try sawing and see how well it does. Seems to be doing okay. Oh, good. Maybe the saw is the way to go. Just hold L2, very skillful. Most difficult move of all time. Looks pretty nice with the beast blood and whatnot. The beast outfit. And here comes the blue screen of death again. Terry.